Hey everyone, I'm Jake, and this is Money Mondays. So I went out of town for the holidays, and when I got back, I had a stack of mail waiting for me. And in that mail was credit card offers, a lot of them. Now, I know it's not just me, everyone gets these all the time. They're the most commonly mailed thing in the country. And most people probably just throw them away when they get them and don't even look at them. I shred mine, and you probably should too, because you don't want someone applying for a credit card in your name if they go through your trash and they find, a credit card application. But even if you always throw your credit card offers away, there might be a time in the future where you're thinking about getting a new credit card and you just happen to get an offer in the mail right at the same time. And so the convenience of getting an offer at the same time that you're thinking of probably getting a credit card might be enough where you just accept the first one, in the mail. Now, I wanted to make a video about how to evaluate credit card offers and what kinds of things to look for when you get them, because when you get a credit card offer in the mail, you're gonna wanna know whether or not it's a good offer and whether or not you should accept it, or you should wait for the next one, or you can just go find your own application online and apply for a credit card online or at a bank or somewhere else, completely separate from the offers that you get in the mail all the time. So the way that you get a credit card offer is through a kind of a vague look at your credit history. What happens is, let's say Citibank wants to offer you a credit card. They'll go to the credit bureaus, maybe TransUnion, and say, hey, we want to get a list of everyone in this geographic area, maybe with this zip code, who has a credit score between 600 and 700. And the credit bureau will supply a list to Citibank saying, here's a list of the 5,000 people in that zip code who have a credit score between 600 and 700. And you just get the names and addresses. And that's really all the information that they get. They're not actually going and pulling everyone's individual credit file. Now, Citi will have a list of all the names and addresses, and they'll say, okay, all of the people on this list will qualify for some percentage. Let's say they qualify for 15% APR on a credit card, because we know that people with a credit score between 600 and 700 have a more likely chance of paying back their debts than someone with a credit score of 550. They'll say everyone who's on that list qualifies for a 15% card, so let's send a credit card offer to all of them with the 15% offer in there, and then whatever other terms that they have involved. Now, these kind of credit card offers don't actually affect your credit score at all. So when the credit card company goes and pulls information, the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires all three of those credit reporting agencies to put on your credit report that Citibank or Barclays card or whoever pulled your credit report for a promotional inquiry, which means just to send you a credit card offer. It does not affect your score. It's actually a very short blurb, usually at the end of your credit report. If you go to annualcreditreport.com and look at your credit report, you'll see promotional inquiries or offers or things like that, something like that listed at the bottom. But now if you get that offer in the mail and you accept it, so let's say I were to accept this offer from Citibank, then if you read the fine print on the application, it says that's authorizing them to actually do a real credit check. So they'll go to TransUnion or Equifax or Experian, one of them, and pull a real credit report and actually check your credit to make sure that you do fall in line with what they originally had been given on that list. And usually if for some reason you were on the list of credit scores between 600 and 700 or whatever credit scores they looked for, and you have a bunch of extra risks on there in some way, they might change their offer just a little bit depending on what they see on your credit report. Now that will affect your credit report, because your credit score, because that's what they call a hard credit check. And so when a credit card company is going to offer you a credit card, they'll pull the hard check. When you go and look on your credit report, then it'll say you applied for that credit card, so you'll maybe get it, and so you'll have a new credit line available. You'll also have the hard check of Citibank or Discover or whoever actually looking at your credit score and seeing that you fell into their criteria. So that's what happens when you get a credit card offer in the mail. But how do you know whether or not you're going to accept that credit card offer? Well, that depends on what the terms are and what you're looking for in a credit card. And so when you get these offers, even though I am nowhere in the market for getting a credit card right now, I always read them, I pull them out, and I look at what the terms are offering and see if it's something that, what I would expect. If it's terms that are significantly way better than what I was seeing in all the other card offers I was getting, then I may be interested in actually accepting it if it's something that I wanted to do. Kind of depends on your own money habits. I know for me, if I had a credit card with a big limit on it and it was just sitting there and I didn't need it, I personally wouldn't use it. That's the kind of financial habits that I'm in. But a lot of people aren't able to do that. If they have a credit card available, they are just spending like crazy and it burns a hole in their pocket. But some people are able to not do that. And so if I got a credit card with really good terms, I might accept it and just not use it in case I wanted it for a backup one day or something like that. So when you get that credit card offer, we're gonna wanna know whether or not it's a good offer. So let's look at a couple credit card offers and see which ones may be better or worse than others. So every credit card offer that gets sent has all kinds of promotional material inside it and stuff to make you feel good. And I'm going to show you, this one's from Bank of America. And so the first thing they send in there is, you know, all the extra benefits. They send a happy kid because you're thinking, oh yeah, I want my kid to get all this junk food. It's junk food, I don't know why. And you know, it makes people feel good to see all that kind of stuff. So this is trash, not important. Then they send you, you know, business reply mail so you can send your offer back. I'm not sending an offer back, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Then they give you a bunch of stuff all folded up. Oh, there's another thing of looking at art and go to museums for free, more benefits for the card, not interested. Then they give you, you know, all their marketing stuff and what to respond with. So you could, if you wanted to answer it, you fill out all this information at the bottom and put it in that reply envelope. And it's all just, you know, this is all marketing. It says on here like 1% cash back and 3% and all that. And that's just trying to, you know, entice you to do more stuff. It says you get a 10% bonus for signing up. All of that trash, not important. What I care about is this. It's an offer. They always look like this. They're black and white. They have big, bold things on them. And it says the interest that they're offering you and all of the different terms. This is the actual terms for the card. This is the important stuff that you want to read. And for this particular B of A card that they're offering me, they say 0% introductory APR for the first 15 statement closing dates. That's the first line on here. That means no interest on my credit card for 15 months, basically. And that's pretty good. You know, most like 0% APR come at like 12 months. And so 15 is a little bit extra, 3 more months, an extra quarter of no interest on my card. So if I currently had a credit card with a high interest rate, I might want to switch to a 0% APR card, move it over there so I don't have to pay interest, and maybe I could pay down that card. After that, now here's where this doesn't get as good. After that, your APR is 20.24%. That's pretty high for the offers that I usually get. So to me, that speaks more than the 0% for 15 months because that's going to run out. Whereas if I have this card for a long time, I'm probably going to have it more than that 15 months, and that 20% will work against the 0% APR that I got up front. Now, if you look on the side list right here, there's headings for the different types of fees that you could be charged. The first one is the APR, annual percentage rate, and that's just what the interest is on your credit card every year, not counting, you know, the 0% that they sometimes offer you. Not everyone offers that though. So normally it would be 20% on this card. But then they have an APR for balance transfers, and that says if I wanted to take a credit card with a bunch of charges on it and move it over to this card, then what would be the interest rate on that? And that's 20.24%. But they include that introductory APR, the 0% for 15 months. They include that on there too, which is nice. That's the only reason, you know, that I would want to be doing that anyway. If I was going to get a new credit card, it would be to do that 0% and roll it over. I don't normally do that because I'm, you know, on top of my credit card charges, but a lot of people, you know, tend to get new credit cards every, you know, year or so and then roll them into 0% and continue paying on them. Then we have APR for cash advances, which is like if you were to use your credit card as a debit card and try to take cash out of it, that's a cash advance. 23% for that and 25% for bank cash advances. And it says to see the footnotes. I'm not going to go that much detail, but basically between 23 and 25% for trying to take cash off the card rather than just charging it at a store or something. Then there's the penalty APR, which is 30%. Which, I mean, that's actually pretty normal. I'm pretty sure most of the applications I've seen have 30% penalty is if you have a late payment, and that's pretty much it. It says this APR will be applied if you, and then it gives a list, and the only thing in the list is make a late payment. So how do you avoid paying interest? They have to say that. You have to pay it before 25 days after the closing date, and then every credit card is gonna have its own closing date. And then they give you minimum interest charge will be no less than $1.50. So if you have $1 on your credit card, they're going to charge you $1.50 because that's the minimum amount. And then they have annual fees. Now this is important. For this particular card, there is no annual fee, but there are other cards in here in my offers. I'll find one in just a second that do have an annual fee. And they make up for having, you know, a lower interest rate on the credit card by charging you a flat yearly amount no matter what. So even if you had nothing on your credit card, there's an annual fee on maybe a Discover or American Express or something where you would pay maybe $100 a year or some amount, I'm not sure, I'll have to look, to pay for that card just to have that card, even if you don't even use it. Then penalty fees can be $37 for a late payment, in addition to the 30% interest rate on a late payment. So late payments on credit cards, absurd. Don't do them. Usually you don't have a choice, but if you can avoid making a late payment on a credit card, just do your best to try not to do that. Okay, so sometimes a credit card offer will have an annual fee with it. I found this one from Credit One. I've never even heard of them, but they send their little fee notice. It looks like this. It's kind of gray. It's not like black like the other ones, but it still has all the same things on it. It says your interest rate, and this one's 24%. That's not good at all. And then, in addition to that huge interest rate, they give me an annual membership fee for I get a discount, $75 for the first year, and then $100 a year, but billed monthly at $825 after that. These people are trying to convince me of getting this card by sending one in the mail with it. So it comes with this card, which is fake. It's not a real card. They just put that in there to make me excited about getting a credit card, I guess. And they send all this extra junk with it, which isn't helpful at all. So all the fees on there are really the most important thing. Got another one. I was looking through all these offers to find one that had an annual fee associated with it. That was the only one that I got that had an annual fee. But I found this Discover offer where they send all this extra marketing material. The fee list was hidden in the back because I couldn't find it anywhere until I flipped everything over, and it's on this side. And it says, so the APR on this one is 11%, which is better, no annual fee. APR for cash advance is still 25, not terrible. That's cash advances, which I'm not gonna do anyway. And then no penalty APR, which is kind of cool. There's still a late payment fee of $37, but there's no penalty APR. An 11% offer on this one for Discover is better than the 20 and 15% offers that I've normally been getting on my other credit card offers. So by looking at all these different credit card offers, I'm seeing which ones are better than others, and I can see that in this particular case, definitely not always the case, but in this particular case, Discover has the lowest APR. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the best card, especially depending on your own individual circumstances. For me, it doesn't mean they're the best card, but it is something to look at. If I was in the market for a better credit card, I would start my search at cards that could charge me 11% because I already have an offer for 11% from Discover right now. So I wouldn't want to take something worse than that. So for right now, they're the best offer of this whole stack, but I'm not looking for a credit card, so I'm not going to get any of them anyway. So there's also a ton of stuff I didn't cover. There's rewards points, which you could redeem for travel miles or like free stuff. They give away a bunch of things. There's a lot of things that credit card companies are trying to do to get people to spend more money on a credit card. But some credit card companies offer 3 times cash rewards on gas or all these different things, which is it could be really helpful if that's the kind of thing that entices you, that you want to get all those extra points to go spend, but usually you're making up for it on all the interest. So if you're the kind of person that can charge your card and then pay it off really quick without getting charged interest, then a credit card might work really well for you. And a great app that just came out somewhat recently is called Debitize, and they link your credit card to your debit card so that you can just swipe your credit card all the time. And it'll take the money out of your debit. It'll go through your credit card, so it'll count as a transaction on your credit card, which means you'll be getting points for using your credit card, but the money will come from your debit, so you won't actually accumulate a bunch of debt on your credit card, so it'll just pay it off immediately. So it's kind of like you're just using your regular checking account, but it's through your credit card, so you get the points. If you're the kind of person that either uses that app, which is super handy, or you just are good with money and on top of your own finances enough to make sure you pay off your credit card before your closing date every month, so that you're not adding on to your interest payments, then having that extra rewards could be super helpful. So if you have any questions about anything credit card related, credit scores, how to check your score, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to get to you. Or if you want to just message me directly, you can check out our website, arbogastadvisers.com, where you can set up an appointment. You can Skype with me, or you can email me and message me on there, or you can check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/arbogastadvisers. So now with all that taken care of, I'm going to get back to shredding these offers.